Hi guys, I'm Jessica and this is Yoga for Beginners. And today I wanted to tell you about 2 books that you need to read if you do yoga. Like, you need to read these books. So if you do yoga, and even if you don't do yoga, you don't know anything about it, you'll love these books. They're absolute life changers. They are my 2 favorite books that I tell everybody about. And, you know, they're books not about like the physical poses of yoga, but they're books that tell you about kind of giving you a new perspective on how you live your life, how you see things, how you react to others, how you perceive how others are reacting towards you, and just how you view the environment around you. And they're kind of self-help books hidden in all of the spiritual practices of yoga. So if you don't know, yoga has 8 limbs. It's more than just the physical poses that you see. The 8 limbs are comprised of, things to do, things not to do, how to breathe, how to do the yoga poses, how to start to control your senses, how to start to concentrate, how to start to meditate, and then enlightenment. So there's a lot of spiritual things that go on within the yoga practice that you don't see on a daily basis. So like when you're scrolling through Instagram and you see yoga poses being done, somebody's like touching their foot to their head, behind their head or something like that. That's not all there is to yoga. There's this whole ethical spiritual practice that takes place as well. So these 2 books really kind of break those down and make you realize that there is a very attainable and easy way to live these practices and understand what they're doing. So unfortunately, I don't have any physical copies of these books because I have this really bad habit of always lending my books out. And then the people that I lend them to have a really bad habit of never giving them back to me. So if you're out there and you have one of my books, I hope you're enjoying it. You can keep it. But I just want you to know that if you have this bad habit like I have of giving your books away, maybe just get 2 copies of every book, or get a hard copy and a maybe audio book to back it up. Now, luckily, I have been able to buy these 2 books on Amazon for my iPhone because I have the Kindle app on my iPhone. So I'm actually going to put links for these 2 books in the description so that you can purchase them from Amazon. And guys, if you do buy these books, please buy them from those 2 links that I put in the description, because it doesn't cost you any more. There's nothing shady that goes on about it. It's just, I actually get credit if you buy those books on Amazon. So please buy them from those links. I really appreciate it. But anyway, you're doing yourself a favor if you buy them because they are amazing books. So let's jump right into what they are. The first book is The Yamas and the Niyamas, Yoga's Ethical Practice by Deborah Adele. And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that right. I've been saying it that way for years and nobody has corrected me, so I'm going to just go with it. And so this book, this outlines the spiritual ethical practices of yoga. So there's non-harming, non-stealing, truthfulness, there's purity, there's austerity, there's surrender, there's devotion, and there's there are a couple more. But anyway, what this does is it outlines how to apply each one of these principles to your life. And it applies to not just the yoga practitioner, but regular people who don't even do yoga. So if you're just looking for a way to maybe infuse your life with a little bit more maybe spirituality, or just ethics, or just living well and being a good person, then this book will really help you to understand some simple things that you can do, simple shifts that you can make in your life that are going to just change the way you do things. They'll change the way you perceive the world around you. They're going to change the way you look at other people's actions, how you treat others, how you treat the earth, how you treat animals, how you treat everybody, and how you treat yourself, more importantly. So it's kind of like a self-help book disguised as all of the principles of yoga. And, you know, we as yoga practitioners abide by these things, or we should be abiding by these things every day. And this is kind of what the beautiful secret to yoga is practicing these principles. And this book, like I said, it outlines them really well. And it even gives you kind of practices that you can do weekly or monthly, and just kind of go back and see how these practices worked for you and did they make a difference. So it's really neat, and it's really easy to read. It is easy to understand. It is not like one of those yoga scripture books, you know, from hundreds, thousands of years ago, like the Rig Veda or the Bhagavad Gita or, you know, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, that it's kind of hard to understand if you don't do yoga. This is just really simple, really easy to understand, and it just breaks down very clearly the yoga ethical practices. So it's a great book, you guys. I highly recommend this book. So grab this one on Amazon. It's super cheap, and you're not going to want to put this down. So let's move into book number 2. This one is called How Yoga Works, and it's by Geshe Michael Roach. So Geshe is a title that they give to Buddhist monks. It's like an academic title, so I don't know what they have to do to attain that title, but anyway, Geshe Michael Roach wrote this book, and it is, I was surprised when I got it. Somebody had recommended it at a bookstore years ago, and I picked it up. And I was expecting it to be kind of, you know, like a list of, you know, things to do, things not to do, and explanations of these. But I was really surprised when I found out that it was a novel. It's a story written about this young girl from Tibet who travels to India, and she gets in prison. I don't want to give too much of this book away, but what she does is nothing short of miraculous. I mean, it's not miracles in the sense of, you know, like parting the seas or healing the sick, but it is changing the lives of everybody around her from her prison cell and creating this wonderful, beautiful environment, making everybody around her happy and loving and caring. And all she's doing is using the 8 limbs of yoga. She's teaching people ethics through her actions. She's teaching them how to act, how to breathe, how to react. And it's just amazing. This girl is just so pure and so good and so kind that she changes the world around her and everybody's world around her. Like the grumpiest, nastiest old men, she turns them into these wonderful, loving, giving, generous people through yoga. Not just the physical. She does do the physical poses in yoga and teaches the people around her how to do them, but she just cares about everybody genuinely. And every obstacle that she is faced with, she thinks about, how can I learn from this? What kind of lesson is this? And what can I do to grow from this? And so it literally is showing us how we can take a prison and make it the most beautiful heaven on earth. And she goes through this, you know, all of these 8 limbs of yoga, all of the yamas and the niyamas in her journeys in India. And it just makes you think, and it makes you realize that, wow, we really are our own imprisonment. We really are our own confinement. So if she can change the world by being in a prison cell, then we can change our world with all of the freedoms that we have. So it opened my eyes, and I feel like I will never be the same after reading this book. And it is just such a treasure, and you really have to get this book. So go ahead and pick this one up. You're going to love it. So those are my 2 recommendations, guys. They're 2 simple, easy to read books, and they're going to change your life. They changed mine. So let me know if you have picked these books up. Let me know if you've already read them and what you think. I would love to discuss them. I love talking about yoga's ethical practices, and I love talking about books. So if you read them, let me know, and go ahead and grab them from the links that I put in the description. I really, really, really appreciate it. And you guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you can support my channel and I can support you by putting out free yoga classes and all kinds of free yoga content. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Thanks. Namaste.